but there we go, before I forget. Actually, I'm going to pause.
Actually, um
Thank you, ladies.
I've been talking a lot with Audrey, and I was in classes with her with Dr. Rourke, and I have done Dr. Rourke's for level 1 and level 2 classes, and now I'm expanding and looking at other areas to expand and use animal aromatherapy, because I do use it as a business, but I need to expand with more knowledge. Um, I did go to Dr. Judy Morgan's Healthy Pet Expo. I was there.
Ah, cool.
So, and I think I met some other your other students too. Um,
Yes.
um, so figure out, kind of see what is all happening here.
Right on. Cool. Thanks for jumping in with that. Jimena, bienvenidas. ¿Qué parte de Colombia se vive? My Spanish is rusty, but it's not too bad. I live in Mexico for part of the year, and actually we have Bogota. Okay, bueno. We have three students from Mexico now, so they're Jorge and his partner are just about to finish the course, and then Alide is in Tijuana, and there's another person whose name escapes me at the moment.
Is it Sergey?
Sergey, that's it. That's it. Yes. So, bienvenidas.
Muchas gracias.
Por nada. Yes. Yeah. Glad you're here. So, how did you hear about the course, and what are you hoping to find out on this call?
Well, I've been hearing about you a long time ago, since I saw you in one of the Jeff Grognet's summits, and I've been following you, and started a new path in my life with my companions animals. I'm an animal communicator, and everything that is involved in well-being in a natural way interests me, and because everything is connected. You cannot address one thing without taking in account the rest. So everything is a whole. And for me, communication has been a very important link, because that way we know directly from the animal what's the feeling, what's going on. And starting there, we can address with so many other possibilities.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And that's awesome. And we have several coaches that are animal communicators, and this has been super helpful for them to be able to take their impressions from the animal and then help the pet parent to know to do what to do next, I should say. And I did not recognize Sarah Sharp, our student in training from the UK. Sarah, glad you're here today. Kimberly from Charleston, South Carolina. Did I used to know you at some point? I lived there for 28 years. Welcome in. Good to see you. So I'm glad you're here, because things are changing, and they're changing pretty rapidly. So my goal for this call really is, if you're here, I know you deeply care about your pets, and becoming the best pet parent you can be isn't just providing love and food. It's really about understanding your pet's body, their needs, and how you can help them thrive really naturally, just as Jimena said. So today I'm here to help you see exactly what this course can do for you, not just for your career, but for you as a pet parent, and to walk you through what's included in the program, how it will empower you to make educated, confident decisions for your pet's health, and help you determine if becoming a holistic pet health coach is the right next step for you. Because when you understand holistic wellness, you become a better advocate for your own pet and the pets you'll help in the future. And one thing I want to say kind of up front, we use the word holistic a lot, and I want to step back 2 notches and really explain what that word means from my perspective, and actually from Webster's as well. So, a holistic approach is one that incorporates many modalities, and conventional medicine may be in that mix. And I think that's one of the things that many pet parents get frustrated about is they'll talk to somebody that is holistic, and the first thing out of their mouth is, we've got to get your dog off these meds. And in fact, that actually may create more problems than it solves if it's not done properly. So my goal is to help you understand what to do next from where you're sitting and from where you're starting. So that you don't have disaster scenarios where it's like, holy smokes, that was not a good plan. So, having said that, how many of you are feeling frustrated with the way your pets or your clients' pets, if you're already in a pet related business or being cared for, have you faced a situation where you really felt helpless or overwhelmed by vet bills? Maybe you've spent thousands on treatments or faced that sinking feeling of second guessing your decisions when you don't have any outside support. If that's the case, just drop a yes in the chat or a thumbs up or a head nod, or yeah, that's why we're all here, right? So this is the starting point, because if you've identified the problem, you now have the power to change the way that care is delivered to your pets, not just through vet's advice, which is important, but through your knowledge, your confidence, and your actions. And my goal is to help you make that happen today. Now, I'm going to ask Marquetta. Right on, Carolyn. You're really limited in your choices, aren't you? And my hope is to make you the choice for your folks in your community. So I'm going to ask Marquetta to talk a little bit about her experience, where she's been and where she's going, so that you can kind of understand this from a different perspective.
Hi, everybody. So happy you guys here. My name is Marta Jefferson, and I finished Dr. Ruth's course last year. And I think it was the best decision what I could actually do. I came from Europe, and everything already there was kind of just holistic, or trying to figure out any other ways than the doctors, because everything was expensive also. But I started to be in the pet industry. I work in an animal hospital, so I kind of saw everything what's going on there. And I got frustrated by the constant circle and not really treating or supporting the dogs to get a better results, and only seeing them every month with the same problems. I started my own company as a dog groomer, and I saw the need for the same issues every day on the van when I saw the skin infections, diarrhea. Everything was really not getting any better. Even the pet parents spent so much money at the veterinarian office. So I started to question a lot of things, and I wanted to kind of figure it out. And I was sad for the parents. I think that having a dog shouldn't be a luxury. We shouldn't spend so much money. And I started to really look more for how to help these pets. And somehow I saw, I think it was an Instagram reel or something about Dr. Ruth's trying to support the dogs the way they eat, literally just changing the diet. So when I started to look into it and read up on it, I was like, wow, okay, that totally makes sense. We can do actually change the way we eat, and it comes even to us. We are what we eat, and the same goes to our dogs. And Dr. Ruth recommended this course, so I started to really look deep into it, and I loved everything about it. And I said, you know what, this is going to be a great addition to my mobile grooming business. And I started to taking the classes. I love the classes. I love how Dr. Ruth can really talk about it, and everything she was talking about was really making sense. And I started to apply it to my 5 animals. I have 2 dogs, 3 cats. I started to cook for them. suddenly the allergies, the skin infections started to go away, even the ear infection, anal glands problems. And I started to kind of introduce it to my other pet parents on that mobile grooming truck. And I saw the difference. And then when people couldn't believe by just simply switching the food and focusing on the right supplements, we can literally change the dog's life and prolong their lives. It was just mind-blowing. And since then, I finished the class and I actually was able to completely stop my mobile grooming because now I have a mission to save a dog, one dog at a time. I love the support that Dr. Ruth gives us all the time, nonstop. Whenever we email, text, she's always there. She has a crew of wonderful people and support that I can always rely on it. And I learn every day and apply everything to my animals. And I started to really watch what I eat also. And the changes are dramatic and I love it. I love everything of it. And of course, I had to euthanize a few animals of my own. And now I know if I only knew, it wouldn't have to be like that. So anything I can help my doggies to stay here forever, I will follow and do. So I have to say thank you, Dr. Ruth, for coming into my life and changing my animal's life.
Marquetta, thank you. And honestly, it's your hard work and applying what you're learning. That's the trick, right? We can all learn things, but if we don't actually apply them to our lives, then really nothing changes. And that's a lot of what the course is about, is helping you learn things, but also learning quickly how to apply them. Now, I want you to kind of understand a couple of things. This course was born out of the frustration around the pandemic and the treatment that people were getting for their pets were not getting for their pets. And I know that as a pet parent, you've been feeling frustrated with conventional care that's not going deep enough. You've spent thousands of dollars on vet bills for treatments that didn't work, where you're second guessing your every move. Did I actually make the right choice? And that is incredibly frustrating. Or maybe you're a logical person and you're protective and you're always seeking better solutions for your pet, but you're feeling stuck because there's just not a clear guide or support. So I want you to remember what Gandhi actually said. And he said, "We but mirror the world. All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, then the tendencies of the world would also change." So that's a little different from being the change you want to see, from being the mechanism to implement the change. And that really is my goal. For you, what if this year wasn't just about resolutions, but about a revolution in how you care for your pet and the impact you will have on other pets' lives. As a holistic pet health coach, you will do more than just gain knowledge. You'll become the best pet parent you can be, and from there, the best advocate for your pets and others' pets. This isn't just about a career, it's about personal empowerment, because you'll be able to gain the knowledge to feel confident in your own pet's care, no more second guessing, understand the holistic tools to help you help your pet thrive naturally, avoiding costly and ineffective treatments, and most importantly, be a part of a supportive community, never again feeling like you're going it alone when your pet's health is at stake. That community has been the most valuable asset to so many of our students because of this very reason. You get this horrible diagnosis from your vet and you're like, oh crap, what do I do? And the options your vet is giving you are limited because that's what's in their toolbox. It's not that they're, trying to be mean or anything like that. They just don't have other options. So instead of that situation of being in fear, I want you to imagine this: helping your aging pet feel young again through better nutrition, detox, and holistic practices, walking into your vet appointments armed with knowledge, able to ask the right questions and make informed decisions, and becoming the go-to expert in your community for holistic pet health care. So this is more than a program. This is truly about transformation of your life and the lives of pets everywhere. And my goal is to make that happen together. So at this point, Audrey, if you wouldn't mind saying a couple of words, I'd sure appreciate it, because your path here is a little bit different from most folks.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as Dr. Ruth said, I'm a retired pharmacist. I was in pharmacy over 30 years. I don't want to say that because it ages me, but it is what it is. And so I was in pharmacy. I always wanted to be a pharmacist. I wanted to heal people. I love being a healer, and it's always been my life. And then over time, as you work in a business like pharmacy, you start realizing the side effects that come with medications. And I think about side effects of, ibuprofen, I got a stomach ache, but the longer you're in the profession, the more you see the long-term side effects that people don't even realize are happening. And then people take more drugs to help the side effects of the drugs they're taking. And then they have drug-drug interactions. And you finally get to a point where you don't know, is your symptom, is it the illness, is it the medicines? And so just over time, I realized maybe medicine shouldn't be our first choice. About 10 years ago, I was introduced to essential oils, and that's kind of what started my family's natural health path. I found out that essential oils have the same healing properties as medicines, but they don't have the side effects. And I was like, wow, they didn't teach us this in pharmacy school. So, really started my path on that. When I look at my path, I find it interesting because I would use essential oils at that point in time the same way I would use medicine. So, I have a headache. Okay, here, use peppermint. And here I have a digestive issue. Here, use this oil. And then I realized over time, and this is kind of where your holistic view comes in. Someone has a headache. We need to find out whether they have a headache, right? Is it hormonal? Is it stress? Are they tired? And then I started using essential oils that match like what's going on in their life rather than just saying peppermint's the answer to everything. And so that kind of started more on my holistic, journey. But I've always wanted to do something with animals. It's always been in my heart. God, made me to be an animal person. I never knew what it was. So when I retired in October of 23. And so I have this background of essential oils, and I'm like retired and I want to do something with animals. I don't know what it is. And then I learned about Bobby, the oldest living dog, who lived to 31 years old. And I'm like, I want my dogs to live to 31 years old. And then they interviewed the owner, and they're like, what do you attribute his long life to? He just eats what we eat, and he doesn't get vaccines because we live on a farm, and there's no stress, and he sleeps in the dirt. And like, I swear it was the same week, I got an email from Dr. Ruth, again, just like the stars aligned, because I don't know why I got that. And it was the Holistic Pet Health Coaching Program. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that is how I can learn to get my dogs to live to 30. So I talked about it with my husband. I remember taking a walk in South Carolina saying, I really want to do this program. And so I did it. And one of the best decisions I've ever made. The course was phenomenal. I just want to say, I personally love the format because there's videos. When I just have to read things, I don't learn as well as when it's more video, hearing, interactive. It is also written. So we have the written, there's PDFs of everything that they're talking about and transcripts, but I really like videos to learn better. One of the things I loved, and most people will laugh at this, I loved the homework. And the reason I love the homework is because it made you do what you learned in that. I am a great test taker. I could pass any test. If you want to just give a bunch of info and I say A, B, C, D, like I could pass this course in a minute. Well, this course, you couldn't just answer questions out of book knowledge. You had to go and apply it. You had to go do it. You had to actually figure out what diet might make sense for this dog or what's going on with this pet. And do a little video pretending you're talking to the owner. This is what I think you should do. And to me, I think the homework was one of the best things because it's not just a head knowledge you had to really utilize it. I thought the content was better than I've done a lot of certifications, animal aromatherapy, I've done a lot, and this, honestly, the content is better than most I've been in. I love the TCVM, traditional Chinese veterinary medicine, talking about food. We talk about business and how to get a business up and going. And I really think, another thing for me is that Dr. Ruth's teaching style is exceptional. She breaks things down. She makes it easy. It makes sense. And so I think like all of those things, and then we have mentors that can help us, which is exceptional. And then, the other thing I have to say, and I'm not going to cry this time because I cry sometimes when I say this, is the people I've met, the other fellow coaches of people we go through the program with, because I had a loss in December, and these are the people that came around. These are the people that sent me cards and gifts and well wishes and checked in on me. And I don't think you could ask for anything more than that, like these wonderful people that I now get to do life with. And then the other thing I love about it, ongoing learning. So like you sign up for this program and you go through all this stuff, it doesn't end there. Like a lot of classes, it ends there, right? I learned, now I'm done. With this program, almost every week we have a guest speaker on, Rob Silver from Real Mushroom, or someone talking about a CBD or Innovative Pet Lab. So we are always learning new things every week. And you just don't see that in other programs, and that is, I think, how we get better. That is how we know what products to use for our pets. And it really, really helped me to know what things I could use for my guy who was sick last year. And Dr. Ruth, having access to Dr. Ruth is, you can't measure that, because she really helped me a lot during those dark days. And I just, like I said, I will never say that this is just the best decision I ever made. I will never say I'm sorry for joining this program. It's awesome. Dr. Ruth rocks. And all of you girlfriends on this call, I love y'all. Thank you.
This is the amazing thing, is that I just wanted to help people learn, but what we ended up actually doing is creating an extremely tight-knit community that, even though we may have differences in opinion of how we approach things, it's safe to discuss those differences and to discuss, okay, well, have you thought about this, about that? And instead of just somebody going bananas on social media. So having said that, the other thing I want to do is show you what the course looks like. So we have the course hosted in a platform called Circle, and it is a private community, and this is the reason why. It's just like crazy land out there right now on social media, and the Facebook groups just get bananas. So we've got several courses in there. We've got a very exciting pet wellness course for pet parents coming up. But this is the meat and potatoes here. And in your feed, you'll see messages about different, you'll get to look at lots of poop and dog butts, but you'll see what other coaches, what other students are asking about, and how others would solve the problem, and suggestions I might make as well. So it's really cool. And it's like, here's Sarah that's found a CBD company near her in Wisconsin. And so if you've got products you love and you want to share those with other people, we're often able to create affiliate relationships with companies so that if you like the products, you share them with your clients, you'll make a little bit of money. So there's a whole boatload of stuff in here. Now, too much in here. So if we come back over and look at what does the program itself look like, it's laid out like this in 14 modules. I think it's actually 15 now, with a bonus module on cardiac function. And the way it's set up is this. Each lesson, let's just pop into this one, has a video. It has an audio. that you can, I believe, download, or you can listen to in the Circle app. That's the other cool thing. If you're stuck in the doctor's office, you can pop out your app and then listen to the next video or look at some stuff. We have a transcript and then a PDF of the slides in there. And then for each module, there is a workbook. And I'm trying to find that one here, but I think that might be it. So basically, it's a summary of the entire module with some, key points for you to focus on. And as Audrey said, we do have a multiple choice quiz, and you can do that. That's okay. But this is what really differentiates us from other courses. I make you tell us you know it. And it's painful, right? Who likes going on Zoom and doing videos? Yeah. No, nobody ever to start with. And so this is what actually got Marquetta on the blocks, because she hated it so much. And Jessica's like, no, you must do the videos. And so by the time she got through the course and applied to go on the blocks, they're like, can you do videos? And she's like, pfft. So that's the deal, is that it's one thing to learn something, but to be able to put it in a useful format when you're speaking to someone is a game changer. And that is truly the way to educate other pet parents and give them quick, actionable steps so that they know what to do and they're not like sprawling on the internet trying to find all of the stuff. So this is the thing that's so critical. Everybody hates it to start with, and it's an amazing process to see you blossom over the weeks into confident and able to communicate what you're trying to tell the pet parent with ease and with grace. The final exam is actually two consultations with pet parents that you'll record on Zoom, two separate cases. And we want you to show the work. We want to see the intake form, your thought process, all of that. So this is not a simple, easy peasy weekend course. We really are training you to be able to do this in the real world, to use critical thinking skills to get you to the next steps for that pet, and the humility to know that it doesn't always work perfectly the first time. And so when the pet parent says to you, when I added this to the diet, things didn't go so well, you have the humility and the ability to say, let's pivot on that a little bit and offer some other options. So that is our goal, is to have you out there confident, competent, and able to get this information into the hands of people that desperately need it, as well as for your own pets. If you can explain it to somebody else, you can explain it to yourself. And more importantly, you can explain it to your vet and ask the right questions so that you get the help that you need in that appointment. So we're asking you to make a significant investment, and I get it. Investing in education, especially as something as important as your pet's health, can feel really daunting. But let me ask you this. How much have you spent on vet bills in the past year? And if you don't mind, stick your hands up or put a thumbs up in the chat for $1,000 in the last year. 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. And the thing that's really horrifying to me, and this is why this course exists, is that there are people routinely spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. The animal is still sick. They have no answers and they don't know what to do next. And that is the goal of this course, is to give you the skills you need to know what to do next and to know that you're making the right choice. So you've been trying to make the best decisions for your pet, to balance logical solutions with your emotional bond, and often you still end up feeling unsupported and overwhelmed. Your vet's giving you really quick answers, and you're still left wondering, I'm guessing, is this really the best I can do for my pet? So what if I told you that by becoming a holistic pet health coach, you will never have to second guess yourself again? And what if you could finally feel confident in every choice you make for your pet, knowing it's backed by science and holistic wisdom and this incredibly supportive community. So instead of endless vet bills, repeated consultations, meds that mask symptoms, you could have the knowledge to support your pet's health naturally, preventing issues before they arise and addressing them at the root. And you could have complete control over your pet's health journey, plus the support you need to keep moving forward. So I'm going to break it down one more time. You're not paying for a course. You are paying for a course, but you're also investing in peace of mind. And instead of paying for another round of vet bills, supplements that don't work, and endless testing that's not addressing the root cause, this course equips you with tools that make a real impact on your pet's life. So, how much would it mean to you to stop second guessing yourself every time you face a health issue with your pet? How much better would you feel knowing you have the knowledge to make the best choices for your pets and you can do the same to help others? Okay, right on. So let's talk about a couple of the next steps. So the full certification program is $6,000, but here's the deal. If you pay in full, you get $1,000 off. Plus, you get 6 months of membership of the International Holistic Pet Health Coach Association so that you can stay supported in this journey long after this course ends. And you don't have to pay it all at once. We have the options divided into 4 payments or an initial payment of $1,000 and then $500 a month for 10 months. And again, here's where it gets better. I mentioned already the International Holistic Pet Health Coach Association. The deal there is that we're shuffling things up in our course structure so that we're going to put the business modules at the end. Because for a lot of people, that's just like, whoa, way too much information. The other reason for that is that we have just completed and we are now testing a business in a box. So basically, we're giving you a platform on Go High Level that has a templated website, a landing page, email flows, SMS flows, and the ability to build a community for your people and connect to a e-com store. We've got a relationship with ShopDot, which is a great way to get into e-commerce without actually having to handle inventory. But more importantly, in the IHP HCA is the goal of ongoing professional support. So we mentioned, and Audrey mentioned, that during the program, you have a personal mentor that will help you understand the program, the concepts, first with one-to-one calls and then also with office hours. And then you have access to me every week with coaching calls. The Postgraduate Association gives you continued access to those coaching calls with me and the community of coaches. So you're like, gosh, guys, I hit this situation where X happened. What would you do? And boom, you'll get 5 or 6 suggestions from others and from me. We also offer continuing education on at least a monthly basis and more frequently 2 to 3 times a month. The other thing is we are super excited. We have Whole Pet Con coming up in September in Kansas City. The day before this event is a CE day for coaches where we can meet, hang out together, get to know each other from behind the cameras, and get some amazing CE. Dr. Chris Besant has committed to doing a tongue and pulse diagnostic lab to further our knowledge in traditional Chinese veterinary medicine. Naja Mueller, one of our coaches, is going to speak on, controlling pain before it gets out of control. And we've got a couple of other really amazing things. And then the next day is the pet parent facing event where we've got Rita Hogan, 2 crazy cat ladies, Dr. Linda Loudon, Joni Camlet with Real Mushrooms, and several others making presentations to help further pet parents' understanding of holistic options. And we're going to the Midwest because the Midwest needs a little love. There's not much happening there in terms of these events like on the East Coast and West Coast. And then you also get the opportunity for networking. We've got a podcast we've just started where I interview coaches, and that becomes part of our ecosystem in terms of podcast and YouTube channel, and business development support. So there is, like I mentioned, the business in a box already. We've also got set up coaching packages so that when your client asks you what is next, you've got an answer. So if you step it back, when you add up the cost of vet visits, meds, treatments that are only managing symptoms at best, this program really pays for itself very quickly. And more importantly, it will give you the confidence to be the best pet parent you can be, and you'll know you're doing everything you can to help your pet live a longer, healthier life without feeling overwhelmed or unsupported. So, having said all that, I would like to take a minute and Lyda, if you would not mind, Lyda just joined us within the last month, and she is like gung ho. So, Lyda, love to hear why you decided to join. And
all right.
Yeah.
So I'm in Cary, North Carolina. So I know you went to NC State, so I'm sort of local for you. Yeah, I saw this website a couple months ago, and I was in the throes of, I'm gonna cry. My dog was very sick, and I spent thousands of dollars. It was a long story, but anyway, a year and a half of antibiotics, prednisone and Apoquel. He started having seizures. His microbiome was destroyed. And every time my vet recommended antibiotics, I'm like, he just had this 6 weeks ago. This can't be good. And she was like, well, let's just try it. And I'm like, okay, I'll trust you. And then he had 2 seizures, I think because of the Apoquel, I'm guessing. And my vet said, oh, he had a brain tumor. I'm like, he doesn't have a brain tumor. It's the medicine. So I found new vets and who were much better, but still, like, I would go in saying, I saw this online. Should I try this? And they'd say, yeah, try that. I'm like, okay. And I'd try it. And I was just, like you said, I was just blindly going around the internet trying to find answers. Started cooking, I did all the things, but I just put him down a month ago because he got better, but was crashing again. So I found this site again after I put him down. I'm like, I can't get another dog until I have more information so that I can prevent this and let him live 30 years. Yeah, so far I've finished module 1. I still have to do my homework for that. I have to come up with a business name. That's a little overwhelming. So anyway, so far it's just, every day I'm just on the community site. There's so much information. I'm seeing all the familiar names like Audrey and Laura and Marquetta. Like, I already feel like your friend. So I feel so much better knowing that when we get our next dog, I will not be just searching in the dark for answers. Like, I'll have the answers. And if I don't have the answers, I'll have everybody on this site. So it's like, it's just a huge relief. I'm trying to not look back, but if I had known about this 2 years ago, I'd still have my baby here. Who cares about the money? So.
Yeah. And Lyda, thank you. This is still very fresh for you, and it just sucks. And this is exactly the reason this course exists, because this shouldn't be happening.
He should still be here. He shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. You were doing the best you could with the information you got, and that's precisely it. So here we are taking a different path forward. And that's my goal. Get you the info you need so that your baby, the next baby, does not have to go through this stuff. All right. Hannah, if you would be so kind. So here's what I want you to think of as the next step, is to book a call with Rana or Sandy, and we're going to drop a call link. Just click that, go sign up. It will get, whatever your best time is, we'll get you set up with one of them to answer any further questions you've got. And that's it. 10, Lyda, that's just terrible. Like, when I finished veterinary school in 1990, the average lifespan of a dog was 8. It got to be 12 in about 1999, 2004. And last year, the average lifespan is back down to 10. How have we cut 2 years off the lifespan of dogs with all of this technology and advancement? So there's a myriad of reasons for that. And we'll explain a lot of them to you. So while you're thinking about this, drugs, right? Drugs and not having a holistic approach, right? This is the difficulty with conventional medicine. The model is to split it all into pieces, but never put the whole back together. If we never address the whole, we can't understand that the problem in the liver is actually a problem in the gut, and the problem in the gut is also impacting the kidney. So that's my goal, is to give you that information so you can put the body back into the whole and look at it in a holistic manner. So right on. So anyway, check that link out to go book a call. While you're thinking about that and booking your call, I want to give you a quick rundown of everything again. Delora also dropped the program brochure there, which details out the modules quite a bit more. There's 14 comprehensive modules. There's training on home cooked meals, which is the original crock pet diet. I've been using that since 2006. This will help you nourish your pets the right way and guide others in doing the same. Business building tools, as we discussed. If you want to take this passion for pets into a thriving career, you'll have those tools to do that. And a mentor to guide you through real life cases. So the mentors will work with you one-on-one the first 2 calls. The second call is an actual consultation for one of your pets. And the reason we feel this is important is that you need to understand what that coaching process looks like and feels like. And from there, you'll do office hours with the students that the mentors are working with. And then you get ongoing support from me through the weekly coaching calls. We have 2 hours for students with some graduates jumping in. This way they can bring fresh cases to the mix. And again, the community is the most important part, I think, because we have each other's backs. We have so many friendships that have formed over the course of the last 3 years. And by the way, this is our 3rd year. I need to figure out what date we started. So Delora was actually suffering through the very first version of this course. And I think we wound it up around the middle of June. I'm going to have to go back and double check, but we're hitting our 3-year mark, which is super exciting. We have 115 coaches that have graduated, got another 100 students enrolled. So we're growing, which has been thrilling. So again, business in a box. There are multiple affiliate programs with over 40 affiliate partners. And you also have wholesale opportunities if you have a pet store. So many of the coaches have boutique pet stores, and their clients are coming to them and asking, what do I do? And they're like, So this gives them more information and helps them make better product recommendations. And then if they like, they can stock those products on their shelves. So it's not just a certification, it's a business opportunity. You'll not only become the very best pet parent you can, but you'll also build a meaningful career helping others improve their pets' lives. And I think that is the most fulfilling part of all of this. So if you have questions, and I think everybody, all the folks that joined us today had a chance to kind of put in their experience, but if you've got questions in specific you'd like to ask me, ask away. You can raise your hand or just unmute yourself, fire away. Happy to answer them any which way I can. And again, book that call. Go talk to Rana and to Sandy and let them help you understand what your options are and help you get going on this. Cool. And thank you, Jimena. My generosity comes from the need for change in the world of veterinary medicine and supporting pets. And it's astonishing kind of what's happened to my profession. So any questions, folks? Yes, no. Is this making sense to you? Yes. Good. All right.
Can I introduce someone real quickly?
Please.
This
Sorry.
is Pico.
Ah,
Official name is Pico Bandito de Gallo. And I just got him. I told you I lost a dog in December and I just picked him up in March. And he's going to live till he's 20 because of what I'm learning with Dr. Ruth. And maybe not 31. That's a little bit much, but he's going to live till 20. And it's because of what I'm learning, because when you know better, you do better. And I'm doing better. Thank you, Dr. Ruth.
it is my pleasure. And it's been funny, Audrey, leading up to getting this puppy, like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do that? And so it's like, okay, you know how to answer these questions. And she did. And it's just a matter of like, it's hard, right? When it's your own pet, to break it down and scale it back to, oh yeah, I do know the answers. Taking that deep breath and contacting what you know and what you feel to be true in your heart is what makes a difference in this. Cool. Yeah, if you got questions, post them, ask them, unmute yourself, please.
Dr. Robert?
Yes.
Hi, this is Carolyn. I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
I
we
just
got you.
want to tell you, first of all, fascinating interview with Dr. Peter, with Dr. Tobias on hormone-sparing therapy. It's given me a huge amount of information, including I'm thinking about my own hormones and issues I'm having. So I thank you for that. This is just a wonderful group. I am up at high altitude in a tiny mountain community. Resources in terms of pet care, I would like to find a great acupuncturist, body worker for one of our dogs, and it just feels so difficult. I'm a trained energy worker. I've never charged for anything I've done. I'm very interested in your program, and I need to give it a think, because I kind of took myself by the hand and said, girlfriend, there's only so much time in every day, and I don't want to sign on to something, honestly, that I'm going to have a hard time keeping up with. My pets, we have a 20-year-old kitty, bless her heart, and care for her requires a lot right now. And we have a blind poodleish guy. My husband's out walking. I moved into our temporary kitchen, and we're in the middle of a pretty ghastly home renovation. So I know, I've got a lot going on, but I just wanted to say hello to you all. You're such a lovely group of humans. And I always talk like that because I have more issues with humans than I'll ever have with animals. and, but, you know, thank you for doing this. And I look forward to looking into your program and seeing what I can make with it. I love you. Thank you again for your interview with Peter, because it was brilliant.
Thank you very much. That is a subject near and dear to my heart, because back in, oh golly, the early 2000s, I could see, why is it I could take a hemangiosarcoma out of a dog the size of a basketball 3 years ago, throw it in the trash can, clean the abdomen up, close the belly up, and the dog was fine and never looked back. And now 3 years later, a dog with a tumor the size of a walnut is dead in 6 months. Oh. And this is why. So I finally put 2 and 2 together. Some of the early papers came out from UC Davis about golden retrievers, looking through their medical records and realizing that the intact dogs had a much lower incidence of most of the really horrible cancers we want to avoid, and of joint and hip disease. And they went on to release another paper looking at Labradors and Goldens, same issue in labs, not quite as profound as with Goldies. And then also at endocrine disease. So Cushing's disease, Addison's disease, blah, 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 hypothyroidism. All of this is impacted because we are taking away a huge component of the endocrine system and not thinking twice about it. So Caroline, I totally get it.
And I'll just say, so, this is a very small place where we live, and the local vet office slash shelter, it's a husband and wife. One works on the shelter side, one works on the community hospital side. They're lovely people, and they're too young, in my opinion, not to have the curiosity to look into things. They're in their early 40s. They're really, really nice human beings. I have forwarded so much information from Dr. Tobias. What about hormone sparing spay and neuter? And the guy removed a mast cell tumor from our dog's chest early this year. From everything I can see, he's a talented surgeon, but there is that limitation. They are spay and neutering as soon as the little creature is a pound. And
Yeah.
it really upsets me that he doesn't have the curiosity. He doesn't look into other, options. It's very upsetting. And it's always like pushing a big boulder up the hill. He thinks I'm crazy when I talk about corn being inflammatory. He didn't understand last time I talked about detoxing. He looked at me and didn't understand what I meant. He's a lovely human being, but oh dear Lord. Thank you for listening.
You're welcome. And what you're saying is not unusual, right? And here's the deal about veterinarians is that the vast majority of my colleagues are so overwhelmed and so close to just breaking down. And in order to look at some of the information you are presenting him, he's going to have to radically change his whole framework.
Yeah.
That's scary as hell. And I know because I did it, but I did it probably 20 years ago. So this is the thing is that to be a better doctor, either you become sick or some family member becomes sick or one of your dearest heart animals becomes sick. And then your desperation to find a different way overpowers your cognitive dissonance. And unfortunately, this is part of what it's going to take. One of the really amazing things is we now have 2 coaches that are working with their veterinarians.
Oh, really?
And, yes. And so and it took some time to get that to happen. But Sunny Gandira was persistent and kept offering her veterinarian information. And then this is hilarious to me, but I get it. The cutting blow was that the veterinarian that was working for her veterinarian quit. And she's like, oh, crap. What do I do now? And so now here's Sunny that can be that point of contact for her clients, can be the patient educator, can talk to them about optimal feeding for their pets, can talk to them about supplements and all of the things that will help support them. And the veterinarian can now focus her time on being in an office visit with the client and doing the things that she only should be doing. So for me, this is a small step, but it's a massive victory. And this is the beginning of the shift. So it's right. So there we go.
Thank you so much. I'm going to
Yeah.
mute myself because my husband's home with our dogs now and I need to help him.
Okay,
And
great.
I don't want you to hear my noise, but thank you.
Of course. Thanks for coming. Glad to have you here. Anything else, y'all? Any other questions you can think of? Now's your chance. Rana and Sandy can answer a lot of them. All right. I'm going to leave you with this. Whether you're searching for a deeper, more meaningful connection with your pet or looking for logical science-based solutions, this program is going to give you everything you need to become the very best pet parent you can be. And that's where it starts. From there, you can become a coach who will truly make a difference in the lives of pets, one pet at a time. This is your moment to step up for your pets, for their health, and for the future of pet wellness. So with that, my friends, I'm going to leave you. Get in touch with Sandy and Rana. They'll get you more info. And I wish you all well and know that you can do this. Ciao. Have a great evening.